The Kansas City Chiefs are attempting to be the first team in the Super Bowl era to three-peat as Super Bowl champions. Now, there may be one position to hold them back from that quest, from that journey, and no, it's not wide receiver. Real quick, guys, if you like or appreciate what it is that I do here, hitting the like button really does help me out, as it tells YouTube to share this video with other Kansas City Chiefs fans, and we are closing in on 5,000 subscribers. It would mean the world to me to get there, and if you want to help me out a little bit further, there is, as always, a link to my Patreon to be found in the description below. In an article from Bleacher Report titled, "Every NFL Team's Most Important Training Camp Battle in 2024, we hear about the Kansas City Chiefs. It's the left tackle, saying, quote, "For the third season in a row, the Kansas City Chiefs will enter the campaign with questions at wide receiver. That's turned out to be just fine the last 2 years, though. Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and Travis Kelce are going to mitigate the importance of that battle. The competition to be the blind side protector, however, is much harder to minimize. Last year, the Chiefs signed Donovan Smith to a one-year deal. He was cut from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the veteran was hypothetically a good value. The move didn't work out all that well. He only surrendered 3 sacks, but had 28 blown passing blocks per Sports Info Solutions. The 30-year-old remains unsigned as the calendar slips into the summer months. Instead of bringing him back, the Chiefs are letting second-year player Wanya Morris and rookie Kingsley Suamataia compete for the job. Morris got 4 starts when Smith was injured last season, and the results weren't great. He had 21 blown passing blocks and gave up 5 sacks per SIS. Still, he was a third-round pick getting thrown into the fire as a rookie. The Chiefs took Suamataia in the second round, but Bleacher Report's Brandon Thorne noted that he's only 21 years old and likely needs some refinement. Kansas City is betting a lot that one of the 2 young tackles will be good enough to help it become back-to-back-to-back champions. Now, here is something that I am bringing into this discussion that is not represented in this article, and quite frankly, I don't know that I've heard represented anywhere else. I don't think that this is a 2-man race for the left tackle position. I think this is a 3-man race for the left and right tackle positions. I think that Jawaan Taylor's job is on the line this year. I think that what we have are 3 guys who could be really good right tackles in the NFL, and we need a left tackle. The Chiefs need a left tackle. I should keep things a little bit more neutral than sometimes I do. What I have on the screen right now are the relative combine / pro day measurements and times for the 3 offensive tackles, Kingsley Suamataia, Wanya Morris, and Jawaan Taylor. This is an interesting look at things because Kingsley Suamataia might be... It's hard to say because Morris didn't do the bench press. Jawaan Taylor only did the bench press. Suamataia, I will say this, looks the most athletic of these linemen on film. He did not test the most athletic out of these linemen. He was 6'4" and 5/8 inches. Wanya Morris, 6'5" and 3/8 inches. Jawaan Taylor, from the nearest I can tell, measured in at 6'5" flat. The weight, when you watch Wanya Morris on film, it stands out that he is one of the stronger offensive linemen on the field. It is shocking to me, upon further diagnosis, Wanya Morris is the lightest of these three tackles, or at least he was at the combine. Kingsley Suamataia comes in at a whopping 326 pounds, despite being the shortest of these three competitors. Jawan Taylor was second at 312 pounds. Wanya Morris brought up the rear at 307 pounds. Wanya Morris and Jawan Taylor had the same length of arms, 35 1/8 inches. Kingsley Suamataia nearly an inch shorter at 34.25. Kingsley Suamataia, the best timed 40-yard dash of any of these three, as Jawan Taylor skipped that at both his pro day and the NFL Combine. Kingsley with a 5.04, Wanya Morris with a 5.1. Wanya Morris, however, took home the vertical leap with 28.5 inches. Kingsley Suamataia hit only 28 inches. Kingsley Suamataia, by the way, hit 9 foot 2 inches in the broad jump, while as Wanya Morris only hit 9 foot 3 inches, which is an inch better. I don't know why I said only. I'm going to be very honest with you. Then Wanya Morris did not do the bench press. Jawan Taylor did do the bench press and put up 24 reps. Kingsley Suamataia, 31 reps. 31 reps, but with the 1 inch shorter arm. Now, obviously, this is Kingsley's rookie season, so we don't have any numbers to compare anything for on him. But we do have some stuff to talk about with Wanya Morris and Jawan Taylor. Wanya Morris started 4 games last season during an injury stretch and ended up getting 339 offensive reps through the season versus the 17 starts and 1,076 reps from Jawan Taylor. During his 339 reps, Wanya Morris gained 3 penalties, which is about 1 for every 100 snaps. 110 snaps, but 111, I guess, basically, snaps. Jawan Taylor, however, on 1,076 reps, drew 20 penalties. So that's one every 50 or so? Wanya Morris gave up 2 sacks. Jawan Taylor, this is according to PFF, so everyone counts these a little bit differently, I guess. According to PFF, Wanya Morris gave up 2 sacks. Jawan Taylor gave up 5 sacks. Wanya Morris had a 55.6 overall grade from Pro Football Focus. Jawan Taylor had a 51.6, meaning that Wanya Morris graded out 4 points better, but this was over a much lesser time period. And it is worth noting, in my opinion, that Wanya Morris was inactive the first 3 weeks of the season, as well as during the first 2 playoff games. What are we to make out of any of this? Well, guys, it might not be so simple as to diagnose. I think, in my opinion, so Jawan Taylor had as many penalties accepted against him last season as he had during the entirety of the rest of his career. Now, maybe fact check me on that. Maybe that's wrong, because that is what was on. I'm blanking on the website, but that stat is now not available from that website. Wanya Morris's penalty numbers are there, but Jawan Taylor's are not. But if a guy like Jawan Taylor was suddenly called for as many penalties as the rest of his career combined, it suggests to me that the whole conspiracy theory of him being targeted by the NFL referees was not a conspiracy theory. It means the NFL referees felt they had egg on their face as everyone on the internet was calling out Jawan Taylor for doing what he was doing, and they didn't catch him often enough to feel good about it. In my opinion, that goes away. In my opinion, he will not be targeted this season as he was last season. Jawaan Taylor, for as bad as maybe he looked at times, for as penalized as he was, played 1,076 snaps last season. That's a lot. That is dependability, even if it means that we know that you were dependably not the greatest in the world. The interesting thing to watch this training camp, in my opinion, will not be who starts taking reps at left tackle. It will be if there is any challenge to Jawaan Taylor at all for the right tackle position. If there is any challenge at all to Jawaan Taylor for that right tackle position, it may also be that Jawaan Taylor is allowed to try out blocking on the left side. This was an interesting draft from the Kansas City Chiefs because they drafted 3 offensive linemen. Basically, if you want to look at things this way, they drafted 1 offensive lineman at every position along the offensive line. Kingsley Suamataia is a tackle. CJ is a guard, and Hunter Nourzad is a center. He can play guard as well, and that might be where he ends up in the NFL, but he has center experience, and that is going to be very beneficial for the Kansas City Chiefs should they decide they need to move on from Creed Humphrey. It is striking that so much work went towards the offensive line in this one draft when really there was only supposedly one question mark on that offensive line, being the left tackle position. With so much focus on the offensive line, it makes me wonder if Jawaan Taylor's job is not immediately and principally being challenged this season. I don't know what I expect to happen going forward, guys. I don't know, looking at these names that the Chiefs have, Kingsley Suamataia, Wanya Morris, and Jawaan Taylor, I don't know that there is a necessary downside or upside to who starts and where. Morris last season, in my opinion, started pretty well. In the first game he played 4. That second game, his performance got a little shakier in the third, before in that fourth game, he kind of looked lost. I believe that what that was teams not having the scouting reports on him. Suddenly, they are able to judge what he is strong against and weak against, and they start running that against him. If that is the case, and it was not simply Wanya Morris not performing up to snuff, then he has had an entire offseason in order to correct those mistakes, in order to get comfortable on the left side. Remember, he was not a left side offensive tackle in college. He was a right side guy. So to make that leap in the NFL is a bit of a trick in its own. I do not believe that Kingsley Suamataia was brought in order to ride the bench. I think that it is possible, like last year's first-round pick, Felix Enudike-Uzomah, he does need a year of seasoning on the sidelines, but much the same could have been said about Wanya Morris last year, and injuries thrust him into that spotlight at the left tackle position. There are rumors that the Kansas City Chiefs are looking to other offensive linemen in free agency. They, to my knowledge, have done nothing to act on that yet. They are just sending out cursory sort of discussions at different players. As much as I think it could help towards a Super Bowl, that neither Kingsley Suamataia nor Wanya Morris has to start this season, I think that it would be detrimental to future iterations of the Kansas City Chiefs. Guys, this is going to be a three-way race for 2 positions this coming training camp, and it is absolutely going to be worth keeping your eyes on. That's all I have for this video. If you like or appreciate what it is that I do here, hitting the like button really does help me out, as it tells YouTube to share this video with other Kansas City Chiefs fans. And if you find yourself here by chance but not design, the Kansas City Chiefs are the only thing I talk about on this channel, dropping multiple videos every single week, and I hope to have you back for the next one.